So, if you guys watch this channel, you know that I love to break down characters and really understand them and point out how much I relate to the characters and the lessons that they teach us. And I already did a Spider-Man video. So why is this video being made? Is it because I want another excuse to talk about Spider-Man? Oh boy, yeah. But in actuality, I really just wanted to talk about what makes Spider-Man so relatable. For me, the character of Spider-Man has always been a relatable person because of who he is. Being a young man who was picked on heavily for being a nerdy kid in school and never really being good with girls, Spider-Man in his younger years and before he got bit by a spider has always felt like me, and many of us. Then when Peter became Spider-Man, he became a wisecracking hero that we knew and loved and became an expression of the person he always wanted to be, but never really felt like he could because of the way people treated him at school. But as Peter got older, and as Peter left high school and went to college, Peter grew. No longer was he this wimpy kid who was getting bullied, but he matured, gained more confidence, and started getting a girlfriend and friends. Now his trials were juggling his life, his friends, his school, his girlfriend, and being broke. And as Peter got older, his problems didn't go away, but they changed. He wasn't getting bullied by Flash Thompson anymore, instead he was getting chewed out by J. Jonah Jameson. Now he wasn't bad at talking to girls, but he wasn't the best at understanding his girlfriend. The point is, although Peter grew, we could still relate to his struggles. Peter even got married to MJ and still had problems, struggling to be a good friend, struggling to be a good partner, struggling to be who he is and what his purpose was. And the thing about a relating character isn't that the situations or the circumstances aren't the reason why we relate to them, but it's honestly their responses to certain events and the way they handle them, the way that life continues to change them, and how they react to all these problems and all these struggles that they have in their life. I may not be married, but when Peter and MJ were together, I didn't lose interest in Spider-Man because he was. I still loved the character and I could relate to him and his interactions, the big choices that he makes, and the mistakes that he made. So although he was married, there was no point where I thought that he no longer was relatable. If anything, it was nice to see Peter actually having a loving relationship and knowing that he took many years to grow and mold that relationship into something beautiful, lighthearted, and honestly a good inspiration for me in the future. What makes Spider-Man relatable isn't his situation, but the reactions to the problems that he faces. Now, the reason I bring this up is because of the hate that the Spider-Man comic books have been getting over the last couple years now. Peter and MJ sell their love and marriage to the devil in order to keep Aunt May alive. The will they won't they of Peter and MJ getting back together ended up where MJ married another person, Paul. And he was introduced to the story, making it almost impossible for MJ and Peter to ever become a thing again. Peter getting Parker Industries and losing it and being poor forever. Peter constantly spiraling in the comic books, and he eventually just crashes out. I feel like Peter crashes out all the time now. Not saying he didn't before, but now it just feels like overall, Peter's life has been absolutely miserable, and he never ever really gets a win. And you know, this idea could work. This idea that Peter's life sucks because of the choices that he makes, have a storyline where Peter realizes that somewhere along the way, he made himself believe that he didn't deserve nice things because of all the mistakes he made, because of the things that happened with Uncle Ben. But, by the end of the story, Peter realizes that punishing himself doesn't make him a better person. It doesn't make him a better Spider-Man. So Peter learns to love himself and enjoy life more and realize that he's just human and that it's okay to make mistakes, that he's still trying his best and still trying to be a good person at the end of the day. I feel like that would be an interesting story for Peter because he always beats himself up all the time, and it's constantly him, telling himself that he could do better all the time. Peter always is like, I can do better. I can always be a better Spider-Man. But make him grow to love himself and realize that he's only human. And I feel like this is a storyline I could relate to, and I feel like many people could as well. I find myself beating myself up over and over again for things I've done in the past, and it's been over the last couple of years where I've learned to love myself and realize that I'm only human and I can only do so much. And do I believe that this is the reason why Peter isn't happy because of this story that they're making And no, I don't think that that's the reason why Peter is constantly miserable in the comic books. I don't believe Marvel has this idea for this storyline. The real reason I think Peter is constantly miserable is because the writers are choosing for Peter to have the worst life possible and never get a win. I think somewhere along the way, the writers lost what made Spider-Man relatable. Sure, his character has always been this character of overcoming struggles, and his life was never easy, but at this point, it is unrealistically bad for Peter to keep being in these situations, keep being destroyed over and over again in the name of being relatable. Sure, we have those bad days where we have these horrible things happen to us, or these periods of time where things just look grim and dark, but we also have good days as well. And I think Spider-Man fans agree that it's nice to see Peter just be happy and just have a personal life that's good, and his up and down seasons are good, and just not to have these constant down, down, down. I'm going to bring up Ultimate Spider-Man 2024 as a good example of a Spider-Man story where Peter doesn't have to be absolutely miserable for people to love it and relate to it. In Ultimate Spider-Man, Peter is older, in his late 30s, married to MJ, and has 2 kids. Uncle Ben is still alive, and he has a happy life. So you might be asking, well then how is this relatable? In my opinion, it's the struggles with his purpose. See, in this universe, Peter didn't get bit by a spider when he was a teenager, and so he never grew up having those struggles. Uncle Ben never died because of it, and this whole world is completely different. So he doesn't start off by being Spider-Man, and he feels like there's something missing in his life. He feels like his life was meant to have more purpose, and this is kind of the start of the story. And sure, Peter has a happy life, he has a good family, a good job, Uncle Ben's still alive in this universe, but even with things going good for him, he still struggles. But I love this run because it shows us a new situation and things for Peter to overcome. Marvel thinks that Peter being miserable is what makes him one of the most popular characters, but that isn't true. Seeing Peter mature and grow over time is the thing that draws me to this character, the thing that makes me relate to him so much and also helps me strive to become a better person, is because I feel like Marvel has forgotten that half of Spider-Man isn't just struggles. That's half of it, but the other half, and I dare even say the most important part of Spider-Man, is him overcoming these struggles. The growing, the maturing is what makes me love this character. So that's why people love Ultimate Spider-Man, because Peter isn't miserable, but he's growing and maturing and being happy, and he's overcoming these new struggles that he finds older in life, and being a new Spider-Man older in this life with kids and a marriage. Because to me, Peter constantly struggling doesn't make him relatable. It makes me sad because it's almost like we're slowly seeing Peter's life get drained away in the comics. We're seeing this hopeful, charismatic hero become a jaded and beat down over and over again. Life has its downs for sure, but it always also has ups. And that's the biggest lesson I've ever learned from Spider-Man. That if we keep going, if we keep doing the right thing, if we keep pushing through the bad times, that there's going to be better days on the other side. And we become a better people, and we make the world a better place by doing this. And with the most recent runs of Spider-Man, I feel like they've absolutely forgotten that part. We just see the struggles. And what's the point of seeing these struggles if nothing's ever going to change? So why can't Spider-Man be happy? Because Marvel thinks that we love this character for being miserable. But the reason I love this character is because even though the bad things come, he fights through it till the very end to make a better tomorrow for himself and the world. I really wanted to talk about this because I feel like a huge part of Spider-Man in the 616 universe is being tossed aside, and he's just having this miserable run. And while stories like Ultimate Spider-Man constantly remind me of why I love this character, and how much I want to see Peter just have a good life, I absolutely love Spider-Man, and I don't think I will never not love Spider-Man. But I do want to see Peter be happy, because it's unrealistic to not get through these tough times. So please, don't give up hope. If you're struggling, if you're going through circumstances, it's a part of life that everybody struggles with. I struggle with it. You're not alone. Never believe that you are alone. Never believe that you're the only one struggling, because I can promise you, everyone is too. I guarantee you that if you continue to grow, if you continue to improve yourself, if you continue to love the people around you, constantly change yourself for the better, that things will become better for you. And that's a lesson Spider-Man taught me. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video. I know it's a different one for sure, but let me know what you guys thought. Do you agree with me? Do you believe that the most important part of Spider-Man is his overcoming these issues versus just him constantly struggling? Let me know what you guys think. Love y'all, and never ever give up. Please never give up, because your future is incredible. I promise you that. Have a good rest of your day. Bye.